This is a 1 week data of the 15-minute opening range breakout. So I'm gonna show you how this thing works, how simple it is. And I'm using the NASDAQ futures for this um, setup. You know, this video is gonna be raw. There's no editing that's gonna happen here, and whatever noise that you hear, you'll hear it, and whatever you see, you'll see it. So I'm just gonna break it down to you. All right. First, you start at the 15-minute time frame, but it's really important that you wait at least 9:30 a.m. New York local time. So be sure to set your time zone at UTC -4, or just look for the New York, and you can see it down here. Okay, let me. You can see it down here. Okay, right. So now, after the 9:30, you need to wait at least 15 minutes. So like from 9:30 to 9:45 a.m. New York local time. Okay, so the first candle here at the 9:30 open, you mark it. Okay, you mark the high, and then you mark the low. Okay, you mark the high, and then you mark the low. Right, simple as that. Once you mark it, like right after this candlestick closes, of course there's gonna be another candlestick that's gonna form, right? So right after you mark the high and the low, you go to the 1 minute time frame, okay? Because that's where you're going to look for entry. So this video is gonna be short and it's gonna be brief, okay? So right after you go to the 1 minute time frame, you wait for the candlestick after the 9:44. Okay, you see that right here, 9:44. That's the end of the 15-minute candlestick, and then another candlestick is gonna form right here. So after like 9:45, if you see a candle break out of this high, you wait for another candle to open once again that closes above this high. All right, not inside, because if the candlestick closes inside, this whole trade is invalidated. Okay, there's gonna be no trade for that day unless the trade goes down right here, closes below, and the next candle closes below once again, and then you will have another trade for that day. So my simple approach with this is this. Okay, um, I have a 40 points target and a 25 points stop loss. Right after the second candle that closed above this high, that's going to be my entry, and I'm gonna be setting my stop loss at 25 points and my take profit at 40 points. Let me give you another example. Let's go to the 15-minute time frame, and then let's go back right here. As you can see, this is a winning trade, but I'm gonna break it down with you. Now, this is the first 15-minute candlestick right after the 9:30 open. Then you mark the high, you mark the low, then you go to the 1 minute time frame. Okay, let me go back. There you go. Now, it's right here. You look down here, it's 9:45. As you can see, at 9:45 the candle is still inside the range. Okay, so we wait for the candlestick to close above, to break out of this range. not wick, but break. Okay, so as you can see on the high of this 15-minute range, there's no breakout. As you can see, the candlestick just wicked and then moved down inside the range and then closed below here, right? This is really, really important. Okay, so I want you to pay attention. As you can see, the candlestick closed below, right? That means, do we have a trade? Not yet, because we need to wait for the next candlestick to close below once again here. If the candlestick closes below this low, then we have a trade. Right after the candlestick close, that second candle closes below, that's going to be your entry. But since the next candlestick closed inside, then we don't have a trade. Okay, that's really, really simple. Now, since we don't have a trade, we wait until this range is broken, gets broken. Now, we waited until 11:17 a.m. New York local time. We did have a close above, and then of course the next thing you do is you wait for the next candlestick to close also outside or above the high. It finally did. So we do have an entry now, right? So you place your entry here. Remember, mine is 25 point stop loss and my target profit is 40 points. As you can see, price uh, once again tapped this high and then displaced higher, creating a, what do you see? It's a fair value gap. That means the market or the big boys or the institutional guys working at banks, the big boys, are in a hurry to go up. This is intentionality, right? So as you can see, it left a fair value gap here, went up, and then tapped it once again. All right, this is a liquidity area, an internal range. Okay, an internal liquidity range over here. Now, after it tapped, it displaced once again. Beautiful, right? Now, so let me give you another example for the last time, okay? We have another example here. As you can see, there is no trade here. Why? Because right after this candlestick closed above, the next candle closed inside. So what do? We sit with our hands. We wait for another break below here, but it did not happen. So we skip this day and we wait for another day. So you sleep on it, okay? Right? Do something else. Touch grass, go to the gym, talk with your wife, your children if you have children, or meet friends, okay? So this is the last example, all right? And last example for the winning trade, and then I'm gonna introduce to you to a losing trade, all right? So this is the high. I'm not gonna go to the 15-minute time frame because it's still the same, but right after the 944, that's going to be your 15-minute, your first 15-minute candle right after the 9:30 open. All right, so I mark the high and I mark the low. This time, the first candlestick that broke out, this is the one. So what do we do next? We wait for the next candle to close below this range, this 15-minute range, and it finally did. So what do? We place our entry here. Mine is 25 points stop loss and a 40 points stop take profit. Okay, so that's a win. As you can see, guys, it's really, really simple. You just simply mark the first 15-minute candlestick after the 9:30 open. After the break, you go to the after you marked it, you go to the 1 minute time frame. Wait for the candlestick to break either high or low. Two candlesticks, okay? Note it. Two candlesticks, okay? Then right after the second candlestick closed, you have an entry. Now, for the losing trade, what does it look like if you have a losing trade? Okay, this is a winning trade. Okay, let's go to the one trade that I back tested that loosed technically. Yeah, there you go. Okay, now I marked the high of the 15-minute range and the low of the 15-minute range. As you can see, at the low of the 15-minute range, we have a candle closed below, and the next candle closed below as well. So what do? We enter. Right after I entered, price just went down here, okay, and then another candlestick open, and then it went higher, and then another candle went higher, and it closed my trade. Yeah, it it has triggered my stop loss. So if you had a losing trade on that day, just for the record, you need to stop trading. Okay. Yeah, I don't care if this another trade gives you another if this another break gives you another trade. I don't care. You stop trading because you need to follow your rules. This strategy right here needs to have rules. Okay. Okay. All right. So in conclusion, what you do here, let me break it down to you. Okay. There you go. So the first thing you do is you go to the 15-minute time frame, then wait for the 9:30 open, then wait again for the first 15-minute candlestick to form. Right? Next, you mark the highs and lows of that 15-minute range. Okay? After you mark the highs and lows of that 15-minute range, you go to the 1 minute time frame. And after you go to the 1 minute time frame, you wait again for a breakout of either the high or the low of that 15-minute range. Okay, your entry is right after the second candlestick on the 1 minute time frame to close. Okay, right after the second candlestick close, that's your entry. Okay, so screenshot this. Oop. Wait. Screenshot this. I hope you learned something with our conversation here. Let me enhance this. Oh, that's too much. Anyway, yep. So this is what you call the 15-minute. Oh wait, 15-minute. What do you call this again? Orb. Okay, orb. 15-minute orb, or the opening range breakout. Okay, 15-minute orb. All right. Hope you learned something today with this video, and I'll see you on the next one. Be sure to backtest it. Okay. Peace.